Hey guys, it's John, and today I'm going to show you 7 ways that you can grow your revenue without having to find tons more customers. And if you stay until the end, I'll throw in 2 things you definitely shouldn't be doing. So let's get into it. Before we get started, if you're interested in finding the best ways to grow your business, then please subscribe to this channel. That way you'll get notified whenever I post a new video. And if you enjoy this one, make sure to hit the like button before you leave to help spread the word. The first thing you should do before you even think about taking on extra business is set your goals. Write down how much additional revenue you want and how many products or services you'd need to sell in order to achieve it. If you don't have the products or resources in place to deliver the extra work, then there's a good chance you'll run into serious problems. As an example, if you have a service-based business with 3 staff and say 24 customers, but each member of the team can only deal with 10 customers, then you could easily overstretch yourself. Some of these steps will help drive a few customers, but some of them could open up the floodgates. So be careful when setting your goals that you know what your business can cope with. The worst thing you could do, especially if you want to grow, is let people down. Tip 2 is looking at your old customers. Honestly, you wouldn't believe how many businesses go after new customers when they have a database full of past customers that already know their business, but might have just forgotten. Bringing back old customers costs much less than finding new ones. To get started, the first thing you're going to need to do is communicate with them. Phone is usually way better than email because it's hard to avoid a phone call, but email can be just as good. But whichever you choose, start soft. On a call, you might just mention that you came across them recently and thought you'd see how they're doing. On email, you could start by sending them a recent blog post and say, thought you might like it. Whichever you choose, follow up in a week or so and offer them something like a discount or a special offer. The next 5 tips might well give you some ideas. When you start to see something working, then set up a marketing plan for expired customers that reminds you to get back in touch. Tip 3 is expanding your location. If you have a business that covers a specific area, like a city or even if it's the whole of the country, think about expanding the area you cover. If you sell products across the UK, look at shipping internationally. If you have a business that physically visits people, then perhaps think about adding on a city or 2 next to the area you currently work. Expanding the location you trade is a very low cost way to increase business. In fact, I've known companies double in size from doing just this. Tip 4 is to increase your prices. Now this is something really scary for many businesses. The initial thought is they'll just lose customers, but you might be surprised. There are a couple of ways you can consider doing this. Firstly, if you have 200 customers, each spending £200 a month, increasing your prices by just 5% would generate an extra £10 per customer and £2,000 per month in revenue. You could afford to lose 10 customers and be no worse off. Now, this doesn't work for all businesses, but if you're service-based, then ultimately losing 10 customers means less work for the same money. And any new customers come in at that new price. Lastly, if you're really concerned that raising prices will lose you customers, then you could increase prices but give something away for free as a bonus. This is a great way to increase future revenues by giving a taste of something else you could be selling them. Think about offering a 3-month trial of a service that isn't hard for you to deliver, but could generate revenue in the future. If they like the free trial and end up paying for it after 3 months, then you've not only managed to get your price rise in, but you've increased the total value of each customer. Tip 5 is adding new products or services. One way to increase revenue without having to find brand new customers is adding more products and services that your current customers could be buying. You might be surprised to learn that companies that do develop new offerings often naturally attract new customers that might not have considered them in the past because, for them, something was missing. If you struggle to come up with new ideas, think about your existing products and services and what could help improve them. If you sell a Google advertising service, think about adding on Facebook advertising. If you sell vacuum cleaners, then perhaps add on a range of bins. When you add on closely related products, you actually reinforce your existing products. Taking the ad agency example, if a customer is now doing Facebook advertising as well as Google advertising, and they see better results, then you actually have a higher percentage chance of keeping the customer for longer. Tip 6 is bundles. Putting products and services together into bundles could also be combined with launching a new product. Bundling not only gives you something fresh to offer, but it's a reason to reach out to your existing customers, remind old customers that you're still around, and form the basis for a big marketing push. Bundling also has a hidden benefit in that when you're working with a customer, especially in a service-based environment, you'll already have the cost of managing their account, raising invoices and servicing them. So whatever you've bundled it with, even for a discounted price, it will likely have a lower cost to your business and end up way more profitable. Tip 7 is referrals. Now, I've never understood why businesses don't ask their current customers for a referral. It's not going to be the first thing your customers think to do, but you might be surprised how many can open the door to new customers for you. Simply asking if your customers know of anyone that could benefit from your services takes a couple of minutes and could completely transform your revenue. Lots of companies offer incentives such as gift vouchers, or if your customer is also the owner of that business, then a small discount or an additional service. Personal recommendations are just as good as word of mouth, and we all know how good that is. Right, so there's 7 things you absolutely should be doing to increase your revenue, but there are also 2 things that you think might help increase sales, but actually do the reverse. Number 1 is discount invoicing. A lot of people talk about offering small discounts for paying invoices on time, sometimes called invoice discounting. In fact, it's so widely accepted that it's included in the AAT training many bookkeepers and accountants take. Hopefully you don't work with clients considered to be bad payers, and so there shouldn't be any need to offer a discount in return for the money that you're owed in the first place. There's also the thought that by offering a discount for a fast payment, you're actually showing the customer that you're in a bad cash flow position, potentially prompting them to look for new suppliers. If you're running a good business and have a solid credit control process, then standard payment terms should be absolutely fine. The second thing to avoid is lowering your prices. A lot of people think that this will just attract new customers, but unless you're going to keep charging existing loyal customers the old higher prices, without a big influx of new customers, you're actually going to be collecting less revenue. All lowering your prices is going to do is devalue your products or services, or show that you were previously charging them too much money. The exception to this, of course, is if you have a product that's been superseded by a new model. If you really need to lower your prices, then consider the bundling option, or add something extra for free. That way, you'll have the effect of a lower price to the customer, but without reducing your revenue. So there you go. Increasing your revenue doesn't have to be about developing a big sales plan or devaluing your existing products and services. These are things you can do which are fairly easy, but probably just not that obvious, until I mention them, of course. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I'd appreciate the like to help spread the word. If you want to see more, then make sure you hit the sub button. And if you've got any questions, leave me a comment below. Cheers then.